Apparently AI is set to take hundreds of thousands of jobs, and if I believe the DMs that I am getting, so many people are going to lose their job that we're going to need a universal basic income. I don't even really know what that means. I've tried to have a look and it doesn't look like a country has actually implemented an entire UBI for their entire country. There have been trials, but maybe I haven't done enough research. I'm no expert in that space. I also look and think in New Zealand, well, don't we already have that? We have so many benefits already. We have UBI for those over the age of 65. We have unemployment benefits for people if they can't work. And what would then the difference be? But I wonder if this UBI term is just another thing that people are thinking about without understanding, okay, how will we pay for it? What does that even mean? How much would people need? What would they then do? So I'm not going to spend too much time losing my life to thinking about that and leave that to some smart economist, or have to see what happens once we get there. Maybe I'm the fool, but we shall find out. But what it does get me thinking about is, okay, I'm going to think about if this is accurate and this is what's coming, because what I'm studying, it looks like the next couple of years are going to be wild in the AI front, and therefore the number of jobs and stuff that will be lost to AI. So I need to understand better, what am I going to do to prepare? And I don't really know, because this is, by the seams of it, one of the greatest transformations of technology. But my skepticism says, surely it can't replace hundreds of thousands of jobs here in New Zealand so quickly in 2 years. But maybe I'm naive, so I'm open to that. So I'm like, well, you don't know, man, you don't know enough about this stuff. But I then go in my head, okay, well, what are some principles that I can stick to should that happen? Now, one thing that I've learned in life is that you want to be very good at what you do. You want to become very valuable. You want to understand how money changes hands. So no real different to if you sort of want to get a bit further ahead than what the general society system will have you doing at the moment. So if you want to make more, then maybe an average minimum wage isn't a good idea. How can you be above the minimum wage? Well, you need to do something that the market values. If you want to make even more money, you need to be good at what you do. You need to go for roles that are few, and you need to be one of the only people that can do that. And then if you want to make a lot of money, then maybe you want to get into business and you want to add a lot of value to the marketplace and be rewarded for doing so. So, you know, that's still a concept that applies now. That's probably going to be even more important should AI do some of the things that AI believes that is not valuable for a human to do. So what is it going to be that a human will be doing that is valuable? We all need to think about that. Now, for me, I think about, okay, like leadership, goals, ideation, running a team, solving problems for people. I kind of think people like building stuff. You know, building physical stuff. Is AI going to be able to do that? Surely it's going to take more than 2 years for all these robots to be here doing it all, but maybe that happens in the future. So I'm kind of not sounding the panic alarm for myself. But also what I am thinking about is, okay, maybe it's a good idea to have a longer cash reserve than normal. So not just sort of a $2,000 rainy day account or a $5,000 rainy day account. Maybe it's worth having 6 or 12 months of cash that you could use for outgoings, or shit that's hard to set up. But I know, I'm just giving you some ideas of things that we might want to think about to be better prepared for it. So, okay, if AI all of a sudden came along and took the things that I do, well, would I like to have more cash on hand that I could survive a bit longer, so I'm not going straight into scarcity mode and freak out mode and panic and what the fuck am I going to do and how am I going to live on my UBI? Yeah, I would like to have a bit more cash aside. So, okay, I'm probably a bit more comfortable having some cash set aside for that eventual event, should it happen. Am I being too paranoid? Maybe, but it's going to give me peace of mind. And then, okay, what else would be a good idea? Going back to money stress and not wanting to freak out. Well, I probably don't want to over leverage myself. I don't want to have too much debt. I don't want to lose my income because AI takes my jobs, and then it runs the risk for me that I can't get paid some of the income that I have. So I need to be careful with leverage. I need to be careful that I don't think, oh, all of these income streams can last forever. I want to drop the ego and understand that, well, some of these income streams could be taken away because AI could take them. So therefore, I don't want to have to rely on all of my income to be able to service my debt. because if I can't do that, I'm going to freak out. Now again, it's the same principle that we currently have. Like, you don't want to have more debt than you can afford, but of course that's easier said than done. Many people will do exactly that, and they will take on more debt than they can actually afford. So you want to be really careful with leverage that you are taking on. Excuse me. And you want to also be thinking about, okay, like, where do I potentially want to live? Like, is it in a country that's going full down, like the UBI, 15% unemployment and AI jobs take everything, or do you need to pack your life up and go? Again, it's no different to what people are doing at the moment. They're not happy with the cost of living in New Zealand, the cost of property, so they're moving across the ditch. They're looking for jobs that are paying more income. So it just should, I think, get us thinking about what are we going to do? Like, how do we de-risk ourselves from AI? And the crazy thing is, I'm recording this to give myself some of my own thoughts, and I'll have some more once I stop recording and I tell my phone activated recording, hey, stop recording, with the right prompt. It's already a form of technology and AI, so it knows that it's coming. But anyway, I'm probably then going to give these thoughts to AI and be like, hey, what am I missing? What do I need to be thinking about? Am I taking this seriously enough? And some of you are like, that's crazy. You don't ask the machine that's going to take your job whether you're prepared enough. I think, there's a good saying from Patrick Bet-David and other people, that only the paranoid survived. And also there's a saying, from Ray Dalio, I think it's, if you're worried, you probably don't need to worry. And if you're not worried, you probably need to worry. And it's a great way to live, because if you're constantly thinking about the stuff, but then taking action and then coming up with solutions, you're probably in a better position than those people who don't worry at all. So have some healthy worry, but be careful with worry because there's also a good saying that 90% of worry never eventuates, and the 10% that does is never as bad as you think it's going to be. So it's very easy for our brains and people to dramatize how this worry is going to be so big, but it doesn't eventuate being what people expect it to be. So I think that, there's people messaging me at the moment saying how AI is going to take all these jobs. It's like, we watch a couple of videos and all of a sudden we're an expert on like what's going to happen. But I don't know, I remind myself all the time that humans are still going to be needed. Like, how do people still have all of these jobs and whatnot, this far into society? But maybe I'm completely naive and it's, you don't understand what's about to happen out there. And I'm open to that too. And hey, maybe we get to live through that and it's all part of it. But we're all going to be living together through it at the same time. And one thing I've observed is that humans are really good at working together and finding solutions for things. I know people might, disagree, but in my line of work and in my circles and in my life and the projects that we're working on, it takes a lot of people, coordinating together to make things happen. I've seen buildings get built, and that doesn't happen unless you get all of the right people on the same page to do that. So humans find a way to get through things and to work together, and I think that we'll find a way to work through AI taking jobs and AI changing the landscape of the world and people's thinking and technology and all these things. I just believe that that's what humans end up doing, but I guess that not everybody thinks like this. But for me, the people who are probably freaking out about this stuff and been watching these videos and worrying, they probably don't have cash reserves. They probably don't have a rainy day fund. They probably don't have other skills that they can work on. They probably maybe like the idea of UBI, but don't realize, like, well, what if it's not enough and you're still not, you can't like live your life on that. Can you live like a really amazing life on a pension or a benefit or whatnot? Like, no, people are normally told you need more at retirement. You can't just rely on the pension, etc. But other people would argue, well, maybe you can. So who knows? Like, maybe we get to a UBI point and people get to have a great life and they're more creative, but someone's still going to have to pay the bill, or we're going to run up more debt, or just create it out of nowhere. I don't know. Like, we're going into a fascinating time, but we will continue to, and there'll be something else in my lifetime. We went into a pandemic, we went into the internet being created. We've gone from 3G to 4G to 5G. We've got internet cables all over the world. You can fly all around the world. You can now connect your phone to the internet whilst you're flying. It's just, I've seen so many technological advancements in my life that I don't get too scared by them. I've watched accounting firms go from you need a server to it's all in the cloud, to being able to log in from anywhere to check how a business is trading in real time and diagnose and help them with it. So yeah, I don't know. I remember years ago hearing that robots would be doing surgeries and things, and by the sounds of it, we're not really like there at scale yet. So maybe these things don't happen as fast as we like to think that they are, and we end up worrying about these things. But I would not want to be over leveraged in a world like, if just think about first principles, in a world where you may lose your job, you do not want to be over leveraged. You would like to have some cash reserves set aside. You would like to be valuable and employable by somebody else, or have the skills to be able to generate income, because there will still be money in the world and you may be able to get your hands on it if you know how to do that. So those would be good things to do. I would like to keep myself healthy, my mind healthy, my body healthy. I would like to think about how I could help other people. I would like to study and stay ahead of the curve. I would like to not get surprises. I would like to get knocked down but know that I can get back up. And surely, if you're sticking to those sorts of principles, yes, AI might completely disrupt our lives, but hey, maybe it's for the best for all of us. And I'm sure so far, by the looks of it, a lot of it is positive. Some people are scared by it all, but people were scared by all changes of technology. We're all scared by change. We freak out any forms of change. People will always disagree and not like it, but the world continues to move on, and it's normally progressing in a direction that it's better than it once was. And you know, some people may disagree again, but that's what I've witnessed in my short life. So hey, I'm recording this to see what ends up being accurate. You know, do I nail this? Is this a good way to think about it, or am I completely naive to what is happening? And watch this space, I guess.